In this video, I'm going to take a look at the square of 9, and I'm going to use it in a way that's not very common. I'm going to take this and put a little bit of a different twist onto it. Here's the square of 9 chart. Most of you probably know that a full cycle around the wheel for each row, successive row, has a multiplier of 2. When you take the square root of a number to increase the number, you add a +2 and then re-square it. Say for instance, we're taking the number 9 here. We take the square root of that is 3, and then we add the number 2 to that, and that is 5. Then we re-square that, and that is 25. It's the next one up on the same angle on the square. That's a full 360-degree movement. So that multiplier of 2 represents 360 degrees from one cycle around to the beginning of the next. So now what I'm going to do is something a little bit different. I'm going to use the time of the day. And since the full amount of minutes in a day, and since I pretty much key on the 4-minute chart because that's the Earth rotation of the ascendant, I'm going to bring it into a unit like that. So I'm going to take this swing up here from this low to this high, which was 81 bars. I'll mark it with a trend line so it's a little more visible. So I'm taking the time of that swing. I've used the ruler tool. It's 81 bars. So these are 81 4-minute bars. So what I want to do is figure out how many degrees is that in the total of the day, and then I can figure out how many degrees this movement was in time, and then I can make a price or multiple price projections off of that. So we've got 24 hours in a day, 60 minutes in an hour. We have 1,440 minutes of it in a day. Now I've got 81 4-minute bars. So 81 times 4 is 324. So I can take 324 and divide that by 1,440 to get my degree factor. So now my multiplier would be 324 divided by 1,440 equals 0.225. Now, if I want to use my 81 4-minute bars, I can just divide 1,440 by 4. And that's going to be 360. So that's kind of nice. Anyway, I could take 81 bars divided by 360, and that's going to give me the 0.225. So now, if you're using a 4-minute chart, you can just use the 360 to figure that out. So now, what am I going to do with that result? Well, I want to get the high of that swing and start to project some downside levels. So that high is at 53.80. This is from Friday the 11th. Early Friday morning where that high came in. So what I'm going to do to make some downside projections, I'm going to take that 53.80 I'll bring the calculator in. I'm going to take that 53.80 high, take the square root of that, and then subtract my degree multiplier, which was 0.225. I subtract that out and re-square that to get my first projection down. First projection down is at 53.47. So I'm going to drop a horizontal line in at 53.47. And that's right there within a tick. So you can see that was the end of the first push down in the downswing. So you could use these as targets on the way down to take pieces off. So now what I'm going to do is simply use the octave principle and just double my multiplier here, and then I'm going to use each harmonic of that. So I'm going to take the 0.225, I'm going to add that to itself to get 0.45. Then I'm going to go 0.45 plus 0.225, and that's going to give me 0.675. I'll do it here so you can see it. 0.225 plus 0.225 is 0.45, then plus 0.225 again is 0.675, and then I'll do it one more time. 0.225 is added to that is 0.9. So I'm going to use the 4 harmonics of my multiplier. So the next step for that would be to take the 5380, square root, subtract the 0.45. My result is 73.79, and re-square that. My next target down would be 54.46 and call it a quarter. Check that math error. Square root of 5380 minus 0.45 equals 72.89. Re-squared gives me 53.14 next target. There's 53.14 right there, and we hit that and bounced off and then came back and went through. So each one of these is firing a reaction on the initial hit. So the first one was our initial push. The second missed hitting the target by a couple of ticks or so, maybe a point there. Number 2, and then we're going to do that one more time. Now we're going to take the 5380, square root that minus 0.675, which was our next harmonic. Re-square that. 52.81.5 is our next target down. There's 80.5 right there. See, we hit that and got a minor reaction there. Right there, so that would be target 3. And let's do the last one was the 0.9. So we'll go with the 5380 high again. Square root that minus the 0.9 equals 72.44. Re-square that, and we've got a 52.48.8 target. 52.48.8. There's 52.48.75. Okay, now that particular swing didn't quite get there. Then we had quite a bit of trading activity, but on the next move down, we did come close to that level, and that was the area where the big reversal came in. So that actual low is right there, about 52.51 and a half. So we missed that by about 2 3/4 points to getting that low. But anyhow, there's a quick way to find some important support or resistance that generally is going to flip the market around the first time that they're hit. If they are breached the first time, they generally will be holding on the retracement back to the level. And this is a little bit of a twist. I'm using the actual minutes of the day. In this case, I converted them to 4-minute bars. So I took the 1440 of the day, divided by 4, and used the 360, which is the circle. So this gives me the day multiplier in degrees, rather than using the square of 9 multiplier of 2, just doing something a little different. So you can adapt that to the intraday and make that workable.